So what is a ghoul? The ghoul is no mere monster. It is a desecrator of death and a predator of the forgotten. It is a shape-shifting desert demon that originates from Arabian folklore, infamous for luring travelers to their doom and feasting on human flesh. In the ancient deserts of Arabia, where the wind carves secrets into stone, there is a name whispered only in fear: Ghoul. Not a beast and not a ghost. It is something older, hungrier, a shapeshifter born of solitude and sand. It lurks in deserts, graveyards, and desolate places, always hungry for its next meal. In Arabian lore, the ghoul was born of the jinn spawned by Iblis, the whisperer of rebellion, and the Islamic devil, a creature of smoke and fire. The ghoul wandered the wastelands, luring travelers with mirages and false kinship. Often it took the form of a woman, lost and weeping, or a seductress, beckoning those who wandered too closely before revealing its dark nature. Once you saw its true form, however, it was already too late. If only the victim had pried its eyes away from the ghoul's tempting form and mesmerizing eyes, they might have noticed the hooves before they got too close and were undone. Across the world, echoes of the ghoul would emerge, somewhat similar creatures cursed with hunger and an unnatural taste for the dead. The Jiki-Niki of Japan are ghosts who devour corpses. Buddhist and Shinto folklore have the Gaki, hungry spirits cursed by greed. The Algonquian have the Wendigo, flesh-eaters born of winter and madness, each a mirror and a warning that hunger, once unleashed, is never sated. The ghoul most of us think of today, however, was birthed in William Beckford's 1786 novel Vathek, introducing the creature to English literature. In the West, it has been reimagined as a pale, hunched, and undead grave robber or corpse eater, less demonic and more zombie-like. The creature, which once preferred to trick and trap travelers for fresh meat, became something that prefers to dine on the already deceased. Did Beckford perhaps hear tales of corpse-eating creatures lurking about the battlefields of the recent Revolutionary War in the Americas? After all, the carnage of corpses laying strewn about the battlefields all over the New World would have come with some stories, fictional or not, about depraved monsters coming to feast upon the bodies of the fallen. Despite having different methods and different forms, stories of the ghoul have persisted through time and region. They are tales of morality, mystery, or just pure horror. One tale from ancient Arabia speaks of a woodcutter that lived near some sparse groves of trees where he ventured to daily to harvest wood. One morning, as he chopped on a tree with his axe, a woman appeared. She was tall, veiled, and her eyes gleamed like obsidian. She spoke with honeyed words asking for help. Her voice was soft, but her presence felt wrong, like a mirage that lingered too long. The woodcutter, wary but kind, offered her water and shade. She thanked him, and her eyes gleamed with a smile as the woodcutter's curiosity in the woman began to grow. Despite previous warnings from his mother not to trust strange women in the desert, especially those who appeared during twilight, that night he follows her to a cave she claimed was her home. When they arrive and he enters the cave, he is horrified. Piles of bones litter the cave floor, child-sized, warrior-sized, some still wearing the tatters of prayer robes. Then the woman shed her veil, revealing her frightening true form. She was a ghula, desert-born and eater of flesh, a mother of deception. Her limbs elongated, her mouth split wide, her voice turned to sandstorm shrieks. The woodcutter ran. He ran with the speed of fear, the clarity of prey. He leapt into a nearby ravine where the moonlight blessed the water, and he cried out to God. The ghula could not cross the sacred waters. She howled, her voice echoing across the dunes, promising to return, to feast, to finish what she had begun. The woodcutter lived, but never again entered the desert alone. And every night he left a bowl of dates at his door, just in case the ghula came hungry. Then there are tales of old Green Eyes in Georgia. One such tale originates as far back as the American Civil War. In September 1863, the Battle of Chickamauga raged for 2 days, leaving behind nearly 35,000 casualties, a staggering toll. Amid the chaos, one tale emerged that refused to die. Soldiers spoke of a creature, not quite man, not quite beast, with piercing green eyes that shimmered in the smoke and moonlight. Some claimed it was the ghost of a Confederate soldier who'd been beheaded by cannon fire, his spirit doomed to wander the battlefield in search of his missing head. Others, though, described it as a green-eyed panther, or, closer to the modern image, a cryptid with fangs, fur, and a humanoid silhouette feeding on the dead. Witnesses over the decades have reported seeing floating green eyes, sometimes accompanied by a shadowy figure darting between trees or crouching near mass graves. Park rangers at Chickamauga and Chattanooga National Military Park have heard phantom footsteps, low growls, and felt the chill of something watching them from the woods. This is especially interesting when compared to Savannah's Colonial Park Cemetery, also in Georgia, where tour guides have described encounters with something that's been termed a grave crawler. This is a creature that has been slinking between tombstones with a hunched posture, and also with green eyes. The ghoul embodies fear of the unnatural violation of death, grave robbing, cannibalism, and spiritual corruption. Early ghoul lore says it's created by the devil. More modern takes of the ghoul say a person may become a ghoul through cannibalism, grave robbing, or prolonged exposure to death. And as time passes, the ghoul and the zombie, two different creatures with similar traits, are getting meshed together, giving the idea that a ghoul can be created through plagues, curses, or dark magic like necromancy. For many, this may be proof that the ghoul is just a work of fiction, a creature that changes based on the culture and time period it's in. But perhaps for someone out there who has far too much knowledge, far too much experience with creatures of the dark, the knowledge that all of these forms are just different variants of the same dark entity keeps their eyes bloodshot and their sleep-deprived bodies trembling with an unending fear of being consumed.